Hi, friends! The firefighting profession has been included in the top most dangerous professions for a long time. And it's no secret that not everyone can handle the pressure, both psychological and physical. Therefore, choosing to become a firefighter, one needs to be prepared for anything. After all, everyone in the firefighting profession knows the bright flames do not tolerate the faint-hearted. Only the brave and fearless can handle them. Firefighters from New Orleans would definitely agree with this statement. They often have to put out terrible fires and show unprecedented courage in the fight against the elements. It also happens that sometimes these people have to risk their own lives in order to save others. And they never expect to get some big reward for it. They simply continue to do their job, saving people from fiery traps. One day, the dispatcher got a call about a fire that broke out in a private house. The source of ignition was presumably in the children's room, and there were young children in the house at the time. It was reported by a neighbor who discovered the fire. 5 minutes later, the firefighters had already arrived at the scene and immediately drew up an action plan, which they quickly got to implementing it. Thus, some of them began to put out the flames, while 2 experienced firemen were sent inside the blazing house to rescue the people stuck inside. By that time, the smoke had already enveloped the entire room, and the firefighters had to search for the children by touch. It was impossible to breathe, and only the oxygen masks saved them. But the kiddos did not have oxygen masks, which meant that their chances of surviving in that hell were decreasing by the minute. However, despite the unfavorable odds, the brave men continued their search, hoping that they would succeed. Suddenly, they were told over the radio that they only had a couple of minutes to get out. The fire had reached the highest point, and the house was about to collapse. If they didn't return in time, they would be buried alive under the rubble. But what about the children? After all, their parents were waiting outside, worried sick. Thus, the firefighters decided against giving up on the search. No one knows how this story could have ended if they didn't suddenly hear a strange sound. It seemed to have come out of nowhere and resembled meowing. It got louder, then weaker, but didn't stop for a second. The rescuers instinctively responded to the unusual call, and when they entered the room from which the sound was coming from, it was already engulfed in thick smoke. The firefighters wouldn't have noticed the kids lying on the floor if it weren't for the fluffy creature that came to their aid. The firefighters were about to leave the room, believing that there was no one there. But just at that moment, the cat began to pull on the pants of one of the rescuers. The moment they saw the kids, the firefighters put the oxygen masks on them and started making their way out of the house, not forgetting about the fluffy hero too. Literally a minute after everyone was safely out of the building, the roof of the house collapsed and everyone realized how close the rescuers and the children got to being buried under the blazing debris. The kiddos breathed heavily due to the smoke inhalation, but their lives were no longer under a threat. However, the hero cat named Meg lost consciousness while being carried out by the firemen. The mustachioed hero needed urgent help, so the rescuers gave her a small oxygen mask. Fortunately, Meg came to her senses a few moments later. As one of the firefighters later said, "This cat needs to join our team because it was Meg who heroically saved both the children and the firefighters with her actions." Some of the witnesses took a photo of Meg wearing the oxygen mask on her cute little muzzle, and then they posted it online. The picture spread around the world in a matter of minutes. By the way, how the cat managed to not lose consciousness before the rescuers arrived remains a mystery. But that's not what's important here. The main thing is that everyone remained unharmed. Meanwhile, the parents, who stepped out for just a few minutes to go to the pharmacy, are sure that if it weren't for Meg, things would have ended in tragedy, while the netizens suggested that Meg was the kiddo's guardian angel. And who knows, maybe this time the angel really did come with a mustache and a red tail. Friends, that's all for today. Share your thoughts on this story in the comments, rate the video, and see you soon. Bye.